kids called her Yaya. This short book is the first of many that are yet to come, as one book alone can encapsulate the complex life that this simple lady lived. I wrote this book with the intention of making Olga Mamu's contributions be known to everyone. There's tons of public figures whose contributions are celebrated worldwide, deservedly so. However, Olga Mamu's contributions are still left unknown to quite a lot of people. And a lot of this stems from the fact that she never did anything for fame. Our Olga Mamu has saved thousands of lives. She's eradicated harsh traditions in a nation that didn't raise her. She's built rehabilitation homes, vocational schools, and the very Olga Puri that we're all gathered in today. She's contributed so much in rebuilding the Nepali society, brick by brick. So I believe, biasedly so, that her story deserves just as much recognition as any other exemplary person, because she is exemplary. So this book stars Maya, the 6-year-old, and Olga, the 98-year-old. I've dedicated this book to Lily Maya Bosnip and Emma Bosnip, two girls who made coping with grief so much easier. I named the main character Maya, courtesy of Lily's middle name, and a synonym of my own name, Karuna. And Maya is also 6, which was Emma's age when I first began writing the book, but she just turned 7. Another thing to note here is that the character Maya has a black tika on her forehead, and that's my essence into the character because when I was a toddler, my mother never let me go a day without a black tika. This book is targeted towards anyone aged 6 and above and is set in the warmth of what was once Olga Mamu's house in Sausalito. And please note that proceeds from this book will be donated primarily to NYF. So this is a book that I wrote with a heavy heart. And if I'm being honest, it was a very difficult process, but I really tried my best in encapsulating the memory of our dazzling lady through writing. However, the illustrator, Pawana Tulachin, who's in the audience with us today, made the book all the more better. With colors that scream Olga and so much attention given to detail, I think the illustrations alone can tell the story. The end pages here are decorated with florals. These are the same florals that patterned the coat that Olga Mamu was cremated in. I'd also like to read a part of the book out loud. Yaya, why aren't they listening to you? Hollered Maya. Well, Maya, there are times when your words will go unheard. But that's not fair. It's not, but there's nothing you can do about it. When you can't do anything about it, you just forget about it, said Yaya. Wow, Yaya, that's quite some wisdom. An old lady like me needs to have some wisdom, doesn't she? If you can't do anything about it, forget about it. This is a phrase that Olga Mamu would tell me very often. And having been raised under her influence, I grew up idolizing it, thinking if I repeated it enough times, I'd gain the same resilience she radiated. However, this February really tested it. After losing Olga Mamu earlier this year, I'm sure we were all lost, and with no knowledge on what to do or how to react. I myself remember trying to engrave this statement in my mind, but her death was not something I could do anything about, and it was indeed not something I could forget. I felt helpless, knowing nothing I do from that day onwards would ever change what happened, as she was no more an email or a 5-minute walk away. All I had left were memories of the woman who went above and beyond to raise me and my family, memories that I've now created into a book that I've always wanted to write, never had the courage to, until this May when I was in Angela Paul's living room and she encouraged me to do so. So thank you. I hope this book does her memory justice.
He gave for Olga Didi today, and what a beautiful gift. Thank you so much, Karuna, for those beautiful...
Anyone could have imagined. And I always feel, even the other day I was talking to all the friends of Olga who were at a reception that we had organized, and I felt, in our culture, we say birth and death is part of your journey as a soul. But if you really achieve nirvana, then you never come back. You go on to a better plane. I think Olga is there, though somewhere she must be looking at us and knowing what's happening here today. And she must be, she must have loved it. I wish she was here to hear how Sani can speak. She's a great orator. I never knew that. I've only seen her as a child growing up. I never knew she could speak like that, and I was thinking how happy Olga would have been to have heard her say those wonderful words. I know there was a very, very deep bond, because for Sani, Olga was her grandmother and somebody she adored. And for Olga, I think she was the apple of her eye. Though I know Olga has lots of very beautiful children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I think she was right there when even Sani was born. So I think she would have loved this moment. And I'm sure somewhere, Sani, she knows you've written a wonderful book about her. And for me, as for me, and most people like me, the first time I met Olga, it was through Sajani. You know how Sajani is, she's always connecting people to each other and saying, I know this wonderful person, you must meet her. I hope she had said the same to Olga about me. But anyway, I met Olga and we got talking, and I was like curious about her. And I liked her the minute I saw, because first of all, she was smaller than me. And like everybody was smaller than me, because everybody's taller than me and I always feel so small. And she had this, like, as a child, like when you read all these storybooks, you imagine things about what angels would be like, what fairies would be like. And somehow in my mind, my fairy used to look just like Olga. And I told her also, Olga, it's so strange, but in my mind, when I used to imagine fairies and angels, they used to look like you. Tiny, with short blonde hair. I mean, I'm not a racist, but my angels always had blonde hair somehow. Maybe the era I grew up in, it was like that. And she had this amazing energy about her. It was this radiant, very, and the music, I think the music that was made today, on her just represented the kind of energy she had. It was positive, it was non-dominating, it was happy, and it was this tinkling kind of energy that I always felt around her. And she was incredible. If she was not incredible, I don't think all of us would have been here, especially not the children, whose lives she has touched and whose lives she has changed. And the good part is, even though she's not here, that legacy is going to be carried on by all of us sitting in this room. I don't think we've all only come here to see this beautiful golden statue of Olga. I mean, I was so happy to see that the statue was golden. I was thinking, I hope it's not dark and it's not black, because that's not how she is. When I unveiled it and it was golden, I said, wow, this is what Olga really should have seen. She would have loved this golden statue. She was really a golden girl with golden hair and golden heart. So it was, and the promise that we all may have made here today is to continue the legacy that she has created, and the choice of people that she has put together. Somji and Sajani, I always, I know, like, I put Bhaitika on Somji, but that's not the reason I think he's a special person. There are very few people I've met in my life who devote themselves so selflessly to Asia. And Sajani is his better half, so I shouldn't describe her more than I describe it. And the chair of our institute, of NAIF, I never knew you were Olga's friend's son, so you know her like a mother. And Olga mom, the other thing that always struck me about her was she was at least 30 years older than me, but how much energy she had. Because every time she would get all these young girls with full of energy to her house for a sleepover. And I would wonder, from where did she get this energy? And she was indeed, I think, even in my mind now, she was the youngest person I'll ever know. Right after knee surgery at the grand age old, I think she was in her 80s. I go to her house and she has a treadmill. And she tells us, oh, I go on the treadmill every day. I have to build my strength. Then if you call her for a party, then she's gone to a boutique. Oh, I have to look my best. So I have to order something. She has this Just for Life, which really is to inspire all of us. And she has seen me through tough times, through my illnesses, through a lot of changes. And I think two of the biggest things she has done for Nepal. Whatever change she did, with great planning, she made sure it was not a project. Whether it was the nutrition rehabilitation homes, which have now been assimilated into the hospital system of Nepal, or the Kamlari movement. which she really mastered in a way which showed how different girls' lives could be, no matter what community they came from and where they came from. And truly, I really salute Olga for how she conducted her life, because we all have that one chance at life, and most of us don't know what we are going to do, and before we know it, it's already finished. But she already knew in that journey she did with a broken leg. I think she had inspiration about what she needed to do, and I think that's why she had so many extra decades in her life. She was almost 100 to do what she set out to do, and really this has been a wonderful afternoon for all of us to be here to celebrate Olga, celebrate her life and the causes she took up. Thank you so much everybody for being here, and I'm really honored to be here today.
to celebrate this wonderful legacy that Olga Didi has left us, and to honor that, and to really to encourage all of us to carry forward. That's her legacy to us, is to carry forward the great works that she's done. Now, some of the great philosophers from thousands of years ago have said, what is the best way we can live our lives? And I think that Olga Murray answers that question in spades by the way she conducted her life and what she did. Now, I'm going to focus my remarks more on the period of time that preceded her arrival in 1984 to Nepal, because I think that the foundations, which could apply to many of our young people, occur in our youth as to how we look at life and the things that we do to prepare ourselves for a meaningful life and a contributory life in this world. So long before, I've known Olga my entire life. Olga will tell you that she's known me longer than my entire life, because when my mother transferred from Cambridge Law School there, after she married Dad and went to work for the Pentagon, they lived in DC, and my mother did a semester at George Washington. It was there during an exam that she met Olga. My mother always used to say, even when she was at Radcliffe, that she would get stomach cramps before any major exam. And it was there that she formed a fast and enduring friendship with Olga. And while she was there for a semester, she and Dad ultimately moved to San Francisco. Olga had met a man who was we affectionately called Uncle Judd, who'd been a bomber pilot during the Second World War, a gregarious guy, and they ended up moving to San Francisco. She took a job and spent her entire career on the California Supreme Court as a research clerk, and then later as a senior research clerk, penning some of the more really momentous decisions of the time, from civil rights issues to comparative negligence as opposed to strict negligence and other technical matters. But it was a period of our lives when she bonded with our family. We went on many outings together, and my mother and Olga shared many social justice issues, and that was sort of the foundation for a lot of our friendships. And we traveled to all sorts of places. At some point, my father was called to travel overseas to live in Greece. And it was there during periods of some strife and during actually a takeover of the Greek government. During one summer, Olga came to visit us, and we traveled up through Bulgaria, Romania, and Yugoslavia. Now, some of you, if you've read Olga's book, Olga's Promise, you'll read all about her history, but I'm just going to summarize one or 2 points. Is while we were there, as we traveled through Bulgaria, the kids, we were playing snakes and ladders and dice and all sorts of things in the back of a VW bus. Olga and Mom were, of course, commenting and discussing all the various political things that were going on in life. And as kids, we acquired a tortoise along the way. And Olga, with her inimitable sense of humor, nicknamed the tortoise Stew Stinky, which was sort of a version of what the currency was in Bulgaria, a Stew Tinky at that point, which we learned. And at some point, we had to free the little fellow along the way because it truly was a smelly creature in our thing. But as we moved along, we went to the village in Transylvania where she had left at the age of 3 years old. Now, for those of you who know it, and she describes in her book, Transylvania was later part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire that was ultimately ceded to Romania after the First World War. And Olga was our translator because she had learned some Hungarian, but every time we showed up at a village or an eatery or someplace,
1987, Olga Devis-Murray, a woman of a great compassion and vision, embarked on a journey to Nepal.
Wow, what a beautiful country. I'm so happy I chose Nepal for my vacation.
Oh yes, thank you Olga for inspiring us to come along with you.
Look, over there, isn't it beautiful?
Yes.
What could go wrong in this beautiful place? Oops, I've hurt my leg. Could you help me to stand? Oh, it's getting hard. But I must stand up. There's so much more to see, so much beauty to capture, and so many memories to take back home.
What's up, ma'am? Are you alright?
Could you help me to stand?
Oh, your leg is swelling. You have to go to hospital right now, ma'am. Wait, I'll help you.
As the man carefully carries Olga down in the local,
Hold on tight, ma'am. I'll take you to the nearest highway.
Thank you so much.
she looks around and notices the children's carriers are just a village. These are school-going kids, but instead of being in the class, they are out in the open. Some are playing in the dirt, their hands dusty but their faces full of joy. Others are helping their parents with household chores, and few are even assisting in the field. She thought these children who should be in the school are instead occupied with the work. The lack of access to education strikes her as a common issue in this beautiful country. The pain in her leg faded into the background as Olga decided, in that very moment, to give away all her retirement savings as a scholarship for the children in need.
1984 मा हेर्न आएको हिमाल हिँड्दै गर्दा पहाडमा बालबालिका बेहाल रेशम फिरिरी न थियो स्वास्थ्य न थियो शिक्षा रेशम फिरिरी न थियो स्वास्थ्य न थियो शिक्षा रेशम फिरिरी रेशम फिरिरी न थियो स्वास्थ्य न थियो शिक्षा रेशम फिरिरी न थियो शिक्षा रेशम फिरिरी
This will help cover your child's school fees.
Thank you.
Make sure they continue their studies. Education is a path to a better future.
Thank you so much.
In that moment, Olga's world had changed. The gift wasn't just money. It was a hope, a chance for a better life. And with that decision, her own journey had found its true beginning. And that's how Nepal Youth Foundation formed.
sir. Why are there so many children here? What's happening to them?
It's the same story, ma'am. They come in here with severe illness like pneumonia, infections, diarrhea, and we treat them with immediate threat. But real problem is malnutrition. Once the illness is gone, malnutrition remains.
But if they're still malnourished, shouldn't they stay here longer to fully recover?
We wish we could keep them, but it's government hospital. Here we have huge flow of patients, and we don't have resource or space to keep them once the acute illness is treated. We are forced to discharge them, even though they are still weak from malnourishment.
Oh, that's bad. But these children need proper nutrition to fully recover.
I agree. What we really need is a transit center, a place where these students can go once they leave here, a place where they can receive proper care, nutrition, until they're strong enough to go back home.
A transit center? Yes, very good one. It could make a real difference.
Yes, it could.
And here we have nutritional rehabilitation homes.
Witness the Thai festival in person.
Excuse me. Are you really sending your daughter away to work for a landlord?
Yes, it's a communal system. This is how things are done. We can't offer her to stay.
But she's your daughter, not a worker. What if I could offer you something else? Something to help your family without losing your daughter?
What do you mean?
I could give you some piglets, enough to start a small farm. In return, promise me you won't send your daughter away.
All right, we agree.
Stay here with your family. You don't have to go anywhere.
No more slavery, justice for family. 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 No more slavery, justice for family.
Honorary system is now illegal. The government needs to justice and rehabilitation for all former Honorary girls.
व्यवसायिक तालिम दियो पोषण युक्त खाना राष्ट्रतालाई नाइ नाइ भन्यो हामीलाई दियो खाना यसम पिरी आफ्नै ढोलका पुरी यसम पिरी.
And here we have Olga Green Children's Village.
Namaste, Chudamani Podium. I am proud graduate of J House, the house that gives me love, hope, and future. Thank you.
Namaste everyone, my name is Shane Gurung. I'm proud to be graduate from KIAUS. My journey of uncertainty to education have started from here. Today I stand still because of Olga Mom. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Samiksha Pariyar. I am studying law at Nepal Law Campus. Because of Olga Mom, I can dream of justice and help others find their voices. Thank you.
Hello, namaskar everyone. I am Vishnu Chaudhary and I am among with 13,000 other girls freed from Olga Mommy. And today, we live normal human life like beautiful life. And I am really grateful for that. And I would like to thank Olga Mom and all the team of Nepali Foundation for relentless fight for our freedom. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Sheetal Chaudhary from Dan. Without my formal education, I feel lost and certain about my future. However, Olgapuri Vocational School opened the door of my golden chance for my career. Now, today I'm proud to be a trainer of electrical training, and I'm helping others like me to discover the path of success. Sorry, thank you.
Hello and namaste to everyone. My name is Bhumi Thapa and I have been living in Olgapuri since the beginning. At Olgapuri, I have received a family and a safe place to grow. The support I receive allows me to focus on my education and my dream. The guidance from the staff and the friendship that I have built, I now believe in myself that I can focus on my goal and create a better life for myself. Olgapuri is not just a home. It's a heaven for hundreds of children like me who needed support in their life. Thank you, Olga Mom, for everything that you have done for us. Thank
Experience. I cannot begin to say anything better than what we've just seen in terms of the testament to Olga's legacy than these children and the fact that they have a future and that they have opportunity now that might not have been there were it not for Olga's vision and perseverance in order to achieve something here. So the two thoughts that I've had as we've gone through today, the first was when we had this very generous introduction of a number of us who have various titles, minister, ambassador, mayor, whatever it might be, but I couldn't help but be struck throughout this entire thing that all of us would trade those for the chance to have a title like Olga Mom. What a special, special thing to have achieved in someone's life from so many. The second is the power of one, but especially one who can then inspire so many others. I can't help but think that if I asked for a show of hands of how many people would have been here in Nepal were it not for Olga, that many hands would go up. And that if I asked, even if you had been in Nepal, would you be here and be part of this today, that still so many hands would go up. So I'm just so impressed by everything that we've had the chance to see. I count myself fortunate that in the last 2 years of her life, I did have an opportunity to meet Olga, to hear directly from her about what she had achieved and what her vision had been. But more than anything, I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to pay a tribute to her legacy today and to thank all of you that have done so much to ensure that her memory lives on and that you empowered her vision through your generosity, your time, your efforts, financial donations, whatever they were. You can see that they've gone to great, great use and will continue to go to great, great use in the future. Thank you.
affairs of Nepal. I like to welcome also our Honorable Prem Bhakta Mahajan, our neighbor, and most importantly our neighbor, but he's a minister, yeah? Okay, and I like to welcome Honorable Dr. Picha for your presence here, the Member of Parliament, Member of National Plan Commission. I see a lot of dignitaries, foreign dignitaries, Nepalese dignitaries, friends and family of Olga here. I like to welcome you all here. This is very, very much heartwarming event for all of us, because Olga is a central figure who put together all of us at this stage. This is her legacy. And people loved her so much around the world, and you all have made so much effort to come here. From Germany, from UK, from the US, all over the place, from Bangkok, from France. Yes, and of course a lot of you traveled quite a long way to come here, even from Nepal. So I really appreciate your making your time and effort to be here. I especially like to acknowledge there is somebody here, what we call Thundub Dai. Thundub Dai is, hello Thundub Dai. Yeah, Thundub Dai is a very special person in Olga Didi's life. Yeah. So Thundub Dai is the one who managed to carry 1 week in the mountain Olga Didi with a broken leg. And then the dots connect to Dr. Ashok Baskota, who is here with us today. Yeah. And Dr. Baskota treated Olga's broken leg first time. That's how Olga Didi met Dr. Baskota in orthopedic hospital. And that became a kind of initiation of Olga Didi's support towards disabled children, particularly. That's Dr. Baskota. That's his inspiration and his support. Yeah, thank you, Dr. for being with us. Yeah, and there are so many of here. I can tell the stories that I have learned from Olga and being with her for so long. We have got a very special friend of Olga here, Betty Woodson. I'd like to welcome Betty. Betty is somebody, Olga's one of the nearest family here. Without fail, every single Christmas, we would not even have to ask her, where are you going, how are you celebrating Christmas? Oh, of course I go to Betty's. Yeah, so that's the kind of a friendship. And Betty would stop by without making any phone calls, any appointment or anything. She goes to the church, and oh, I'm going to stop by Olga. And then she walks to Olga's house. So that's the kind of a bond they celebrated. And there are so many of them are here. Who in the Nepalese community as well as expat community. A lot of the expat community, of course, they left Nepal already because Olga outlived a lot of them. Yeah, see, for living 98 years, yeah, you outlived. Yes, I really appreciate and I really like to welcome Your Excellency Dean Thompson for your presence in honor of Olga here today. And yeah, I can go on and on, but I really like to welcome all of you for being with us to this very special event. Now, why we are doing it? I don't need to explain why we are doing it, but still, let me say a few things. And Olga, first time she stepped in Nepal in 1984. And started charity from her own pocket. from Poropakar orphanage. Then the organization kept growing. She started a lot of different initiations. She traveled throughout the country. She marched in Tang, Banki, Bardia, Kalali, Kanchanpur in liberating girls from slavery. She traveled to Dangadi, she traveled to Biratnagar, Rajbiraj, Madhya Pradesh, everywhere. Of course in Kathmandu. But what was here is the home for children that she started in early 90s. A few years before I joined the organization. There was a boys' home and girls' home. But every few years we had to move places, because it was rented property. One evening, Olga Didi and I were by the fire in our house. We were talking about, wouldn't it be really nice to have a facility of our own that we don't have to shift children, what we call in Nepali, biralode nani sare jasto, shifting, the cat, the babies to hide from somebody else, okay, something else. So we thought about that back in year 2000. That was a long time ago we dreamed together. And particularly she really wanted to see that happen as quickly as possible. But it didn't happen for a long time. And suddenly in 2013, we got a donor who offered a significant amount of support to establish a village that we had dreamed for since long time. So this is ended to become a village. There are homes, 4 homes, 2 for boys, 2 for girls, and vocational school and farm, and our offices, counseling center, everything is here. There are over a dozen buildings. Then it became a village. Then we thought, okay, it is a village. We're not going to name every building. Let's name a village first. What to name? I sent out request for recommendations to so many of our friends and kids and the donors. There were about 500 recommendations. Every single name had something to do with Olga. Olga, mommy, best place, something like that. So many of them. And one of the buddy of Olga Didi, Saurais, David and Hedy Saurais, they lived in Nepal for so long, over 15 years with Olga Didi, and a good friend. And David said, hey, Som, how about Olga Pur? Pur, okay? Pur is a territory. And I said, David, Pur is a rather bigger territory. We are not that big. There's a Lalitpur, Bhaktapur, Bharatpur, Jodhpur. There are so many Purs. There are Janakpur, there are big Purs. But we are little, so let's call it Puri. Then I tweaked the name into Olga Puri, okay? So then we call it Olga Puri. And we transcribed it, or decoded it as Olga's little oasis for children. Okay, that's how the Olga Puri village was named after. She was so happy to see, not because she would not care, she's the person so humble, she would not care about her name. She was so happy to see this full-fledged village in place. So that's how we started. And well, she started to, she kept coming every year until 2023. She was here until May 2023. That is unbelievable. She even visited Saptari district in Madhya Pradesh when she was here. She was 97 at that time. It's unbelievable power of the will and the zeal to support Nepalese people, Nepalese community. And when she passed away, exactly 8 months ago, actually, February 20, 2024, we thought, okay, you know what? Olga actually passed away peacefully in her house in Sausalito in California, but we believed her heart and soul has peacefully rested here in Olga Puri. So we thought this is the right place to create an image of Olga here and remember her rest of our life and many generations of children who will come and live here. That's why we decided to install Olga's statue on the ground in the very heart of Olgapuri. That's what we are here for. So, having said that, I don't want to say too many things because I can talk on and on about Olga. So, thank you very much for coming for this very, very special occasion. And now I will see you around, and thank you for being with us. Yeah, thank you.
I joined NYF Nepal as a charter board member when Olga Didi and Som came to my house and requested me to join the board in 2013, I think. So much has been said. There is not much that I have to add. I would like to therefore join all the previous speakers with their heartfelt remarks about Olga. Words are not enough to remind us of her unique contributions and legacy. On this solemn occasion, it is my honor today to give this vote of thanks on behalf of all Olga's supporters and on behalf of Nepali youth, whose upliftments he supported in a legendary manner. First, we would like to thank all the participants gathered here today and would like to acknowledge the presence of Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs of Nepal, Dr. Arju Rana Deuba, as the chief guest of this special occasion and for our patronage of Nepal Youth Foundation. We have the pleasure of having Honorable Minister of Labour, Employment and Transport of Bagmati Province, Prem Bhakta Maharjan, Mayor of Lalitpur Metropolis, Shri Babu Maharjan, and Deputy Mayor Manjali Shakyaji, Member of National Planning Commission, Honorable Dr. R.P. Bicha, CDO of Lalitpur, Mr. Tulsi Bahadur Shrestha, and several high-level dignitaries from the government of Nepal. We would like to thank the U.S. Ambassador to Nepal, His Excellency Dean Thompson and Mrs. Jane Thompson, former U.S. Ambassador to Nepal, Mr. Peter Bode, and Mrs. Tanya Bode, who is also in the NYF board in the USA, and several Nepalese ambassadors and members of diplomatic community for their presence to witness the unveiling of statue of our dear Olga. We would like to thank Olga's family, her grandson Sean Murray, her niece John, and several of her friends, both from abroad and in Nepal, for their presence here today. We thank the Nepal Youth Foundation USA Board Chairperson Mr. Christopher Heffelfinger, all the NYF USA board members, Executive Director and staff from NYF USA, all the Nepal Youth Foundation volunteers and supporters from various parts of the world who have come all the way to Nepal to witness this historic event and make it a memorable one. Founder President of Nepal Youth Foundation, Olga Murray, has been a visionary and prepared well in advance a succession plan for the sustainability and continuity of NYF by grooming and handing over the reins of NYF in time in the capable hands of President Som Paneru, who has been working, as several have mentioned here, tirelessly to make NYF an outstanding NGO in Nepal that is cited as an example of how NGOs should be working in Nepal. I apologize for not taking the names and individually of many senior international and national guests, NGO friends and partners present here today, but would like to thank everyone for honoring us with your participation. We would like to thank all the NYF Nepal and Olgapuri village board members, staff, children, and wonderful performers, including Karuna, whose book was inaugurated today, without whose enthusiastic support and hard work, it would not have been possible to organize this event. We would also like to acknowledge the support of the media persons and photographers present here. Olga's statue in the village of hers will permanently remind us of her love of Nepali youth and her unforgettable contribution to their upliftment. Thank you once again for your presence. Excuse me if I missed anybody, but thank you all. Thank you very much.